Hey y'all, what is up YouTube? How's it going everyone? Sparky Marky Mark here, and I'm back to do a review and unboxing for a certain item, and it's a watch review, yes. And what is this watch that I'm about to tell you? If you see the title, you already know what it is. It's a Breitling. Which one is it? It's a Navitimer. Now, if you already know the history of it, I'll leave you like a link in the description box or so. And also to tell you about a little bit about its history, going back, say, 80 years ago, 80 some years ago to be exact, that added, of course, circular slide rule. Now, what does that mean, circular slide rule? It has something to do with this. It's like a ruler, all circularized. And that would fit this watch that we know of, the Navitimer. But again, for calculations, coordinating, and other things, you can pause it very carefully if you like. And now for the Navitimer, of course, it's on the bezel, the chronometers, using the slide rule and the bezel becoming most associated with the name Navitimer, which of course originated between around 1952, but then launched in 1954. Navitimer comes from two words that were used to describe the purpose of it: navigation and timer. Put it together, you got Navitimer. During the time of the 1950s and 60s, a version of the Navitimer was offered by the AO and PA. That's for the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, with the logo AOPA on the dial. In the early 60s, that would be 1961, astronaut Scott Carpenter was one of the astronauts in the Mercury space program, approached Breitling with the idea incorporating a 24-hour dial instead of the normal 12-hour dial. This was needed because of the lack of day and night during space traveling, and of course Breitling compelled and produced the Navitimer which is known as the 24-hour Navitimer, which Carpenter wore in his 1962 spaceflight. Breitling then proceeded to produce the commercial version of the 24-hour version as the so-called Cosmonaut Navitimer. The Cosmonaut Navitimer, under the names of Breitling and AOPA logos. The first Navitimer chronograph was introduced to the world in the public in 1969, nearly about 8 years after, well, make it 7 years after the original space mission that Carpenter flew. The movement was co-developed Breitling, Tupas, Dupriez, of course, with Hoyer and Hamilton. So yeah, folks, this is what was introduced to the world in the early 50s, and then it changed the time, of course, with Scott Carpenter taking this particular design to space, putting it with 24-hour dial instead of the usual 12-hour dial, the normal, and taking it to space, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of the story. And speaking of that, let's see what the watch looked like back then, like now. Alright, so right now we're in the Breitling of the 50s. Ignore that, that's not part of the 50s. Has the classic designs and everything, but it sure is not from the 50s. This one is from the 50s. That too. This one. This one's the 70s, ignore that one. So yeah, vintage expired, but these were originally designs that came out like say 80 years ago. Actually, 50 some years ago, sorry. Make it about 70 years ago. Taking a look, see. Even of course recent new releases were inspired by the original designs, so they kind of kept the DNA from the original designs and then released it as new. Not like new. No, 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 no. And these, of course, if you're looking at this particular one, woo-wee, look at that original design and packaging. You can never underestimate or deny the existence of this particular look. Alrighty, looking at this from 1952, this was the original designs and some brief history about the Navitimer. Okay. And you got a particular one that looks familiar, but this is known as the 1952 edition. Here's what it originally looked like during the early years. Only the best images you can get. Alrighty, so continue on. Looking at it throughout the years. Ignore these modern ones. Ignore that. Excuse me. Alright, so say hello to the early years of Breitling. You can see here very carefully, these are like the originals. Alright, from the predecessor, from the years of the 1950s and on to the 60s. Okay, ignore this. So what you're looking at here are variations. And of course it has connection with aviation, but it's just a tool, either a tool watch or just a look to track down time zones. So yeah. You can read this paragraph very carefully. It's how it is, and the article was done by this woman by the name of Isabella Poriola, if I said the name right, sorry if I butchered it. So yeah, it was built as a wrist-sized watch, or this case, a computer, even calculators in a way. So, developed in 1952, yes, and the bezel had a way to compute in distance traveling, airspeed, of course, yes. And then suddenly developed some sort of like some years before getting there in 1952. And then just recently the Cosmonaut, first Navitimer to be worn in space, and worn by Scott Carpenter. And yep, and was effectively in 1952, and you know, of course, you already know about AOPA. But again, it has connections to aviation. The particular reference number you're looking at here debuted the reference 7806 in 1972. And here's an article that was published during that time when Scott Carpenter went to space. And there it is. Huh. And yeah, by the time quartz crisis occurred, I'll show you a little bit about the LED version. But this one, of course, may look the same, yes. Got the pushers where it's supposed to be, but the crown is on this side. Why is it on that side where it should be here? Maybe they want to up the ante or so. Experiments with crazy color schemes, funky-esque feel, of course, and that's with the reference 81600 on a Lima-born manual wind chronograph movement. Worn by a French musician, Serge Gainsbourg, if I said the name right. And yeah. And of course, there's something right here that says the overall commercial success of the Navitimer helped the manufacturer weather the harsh realities that occurred of the quartz crisis. And still a mainstream brand, mainstay of the brand to this day. Give a little close-up. Heck, it does look very cool in its way. Now let's go on to the other side. And of course, you do see Breitling and Thunderbolt with the pilot wearing these Breitlings and then survived on the ocean for so damn long. Here's an early model of the 806. Here's one going back to the 1960s, circa in 1967 to be exact, and it's the gold out version. Well, not gold out. I mean, well, body's gold, pushers and the crown are gold, circle is gold, except the designs are all maintaining from the original. And this is, of course, reference 806. Manual wind, 40 millimeter diameter. It is pre-owned. I'm in the auctions for the fine watches and jewelers, but what you're looking at here is directly from the year of 1967. Very collectible. Looking at the designs, let's take a look at it carefully from a perspective point of view. This is the best you can get. And it's got its original band. I mean, it says pre-owned, but I don't see any signs of abuse. I mean, you could tell there was some wearing, yes. Back doesn't tell much. Wonderfully made. This is the original box, how it came back then. And again, 1967, that was the year my old man was born. My grandfather was like in his mid-30s at the time, and my other grandfather from my mom's side of the family was like he was in his like teens at the time. Like say he was like 12 going on 13 back then. That's all I can tell you. Genuine brown leather strap, tang buckle. I mean, you can't argue with this. So yeah, hard to come across this design and the look. Even the box is like near mint after like 50 some years now. Perfectly preserved. Whoever collects these kind of watches I mean, it's got to be worth something in today's marketing. Vintage market is going crazy in the house. So yeah, well, a lot to look at the early years and such. Here we're looking at Breitlings of the 60s. Breitling Navitimer of the 60s. All right, ignore this one. This looks like modern. We're looking at vintage. But some of these newer ones look like inspired of the vintage lines. Even recent in 2019, we have the 1959 edition or the 1952 edition, because again, limitations. Depends on how much money you're paying for these designs and look. So yeah, look at it very carefully, young BUCKS, young bucks, and current collectors and future collectors. Stainless steel mesh bracelets. Look at this particular one right there. Twin Jet 806. I mean, look how so vast this design looks. Definitely computerized, calculator, state-of-the-art designs and all that. Whoa. 1968. Now this one, it's Breitling Geneva, has the letter B for the signature of Breitling. Orange hands, white hand on there. It definitely a wonderfully designed, but again, hard to track. This one's a chronometer 1808, 1152, 57/67. Wonderfully designed. Again, very rare. Can't even come across these badasses. Got this particular one in stainless steel, but again, very hard to track. This particular one was released in 1969. This one's a Navitimer Chronomatic 1806. It's got a caliber 12 movement. All right, on to the next section. Now we've entered Breitling of the 70s. So yeah, here's what they all were like in the 70s and such. And woo-wee, look at that design. Very familiar, yes. And this is the original box, how it looked back then. In those days for the Air Force. Oh, here's one right here. Oh, look at that. Manual. Oh, hold on. You got the manual. A lot of papers around here. I believe, yep, it says here Iraqi Air Force. Wow. Hold on a second. Well, take a look at one of these designs right here. These were like the Breitling digital, analog digital quartz. Wonderfully well thought out. But sadly, that somebody made a big purchase on that. And this, of course, is reference. This one's a platoon quartz. Quartz Pluton 3300, reference 80972. Made only from 1980 to 1989. After a 9-year production run. Somebody made a big purchase on that. So yeah, they have it in different variations, different dials of color, bands and such. Oh, shit. Here's one of them. And this, of course, the design of the Breitling Geneva. Just quartz LED. This particular one only made from between 9-year production run from 1970 to 1979. Ooh, what do we have here, y'all? Hold on. Variations of the digital quartz era. And of course, this particular one was released in the late 70s of 1977, perhaps maybe 76, whichever of these 70s eras was. But sadly, by 1978, quartz crisis happened, and other independent brands, one of them being the Ulster and other design looks of the tag, like Hoyer, Monaco, other brands of the 70s and 60s. Apparently they all went dormant, like put them all out of business. And then the quartz crisis just happened, and other brands went goodbye. So long, we'll never see you again. Which was kind of bummer, in that period. Let's see another variation look. Oh, but and you already know about this one, only for a 9-year production. And look at it very careful with the look and the design. LED, man. And of course, Pulsar LED was a big hit at that period. This particular one was 1979. And when I was talking about Pulsar LED, like a computer-esque digital watch of the early 70s, those were considered huge. Timex was involved in LED back then. Again, you never come across those designs ever again on the account of they're kind of rare. Maybe went underground, nobody liked them anymore. Who knows? This is what they all looked like at that period. Yep, and like you heard it before in this video, these are rare and hard to come by. Depends on what the condition is. On the count of it, it's been maybe not worn over the years, kept it safe, and the value of these LED Breitlings have gone high price. Oh, we're just in the analog. What? So, yep. I mean, I believe Breitling was trying to up the ante of their games at that time period. So, that's what occurred. So yeah, hard to come by, hard to track down, who knows. So, yeah, and of course over the years we've been getting Breitling Navitimers in different looks, maybe. Designs over the course of many years during its run, and of course born in the celebrity wrists of athletes, actors, models, comedians, including stars, movie stars, music stars perhaps, jazz singers, jazz, what was it? Jazz singers and music players over the course of many years. Heck. And with all that out of the way, and I'll leave you a link in the description box down below for my good fellow YouTuber buddy, the Urban Gentry. I'll just tell you more about the Navitimer history, maybe independently, like how I know so far. So with all this out of the way, let's get to the watch and see what is this particular one we're about to look like right now. Let's go. Let's go. All right, before we even get to the Breitling, let's take a look at over the years. In this particular design, the 1806, the Cosmonaut 8 reference 1806. Look how vintage it is. 1964, 1806, Aircraft Owner and Pilots Association, known as AOPA. And this is an 18-karat gold version released in 1973. The Cosmonaut, 18-karat gold, 81600. And this is the 9106 Navitimer Breitling Navitimer Geneva LED. Here's one in 1974, the 9416 Navitimer. And here's the one from the 80s. 80191. Very, very cool. The Cosmonaut, released in 1992. A1120919. A12019, that is. Here's a nod from 2002, celebrating its 50th anniversary in 2002. And here's one in 2011, exactly on May 5th. known as the BTA 243221-2 minus B726SS World Chronograph. This particular one here is the Breitling Navitimer Honor Flight Network. If anybody's familiar, this was around November of 2014, about 3 days after Veterans Day. Honor Flight honors these veterans and and also people who served their country during the time of World War I and so on, for veterans who served this country. And they made this like this Breitling called Honor Flight, and it's a limited edition, and only the existence of how many am I saying? Approximately 56 in existence. Like, what? That's really low right there. Only 56, and they're numbered, by the way. Beautifully designed and one of a kind. And anybody whose family member served, if you got one, good for you. You don't? Oh well, there's always the regular ones, but not in this kind of color wave, and not with the letters that are in white signature. Honor Flight. That's where it says it. I'll just give you a little zoom. Honor Flight. So yeah, only the existence of 56. Only made for the people that served our country. And in 2016, we got another one, the 1884 milestone chronograph. Here's one in blue band, GMT Aurora Blue. With a different band. And this is the one we're about to see. Well, also in October, 5 months later, we got this particular design. The Navitimer 1 BO1 Chronograph, Model 43. Number, you can read the rest. 2019 in March, we got this particular design. The re-edition of 1959, Breitling Navitimer 1959 re-edition, reference 8016. Sorry, Breitling Navitimer 1959 re-edition, reference 806. And here's another one, part of the Pan Am Airline Edition, BO1 Chronograph 43. You can see the rest of the numbers. Released on April 19, 2019. Here's a gold out one. Whoa, solid rose gold. Chronograph 43. Breitling Navitimer BO1. You can see the rest of the serial numbers. Another Breitling Navitimer GMT A24 3221 CP2. Released on June 25th. So yeah. While these looks out of the way, let's take a look at this particular one, and it's in Aurora Blue, Breitling Navitimer 46mm, steel, AB0127211C1A1, released on May 30th of 2018. So this is what you're gonna be looking at, folks. Take a look. The buckle. The back, which you're about to see. This is what it all says in the back. The chronos and what's in front of you. That's what you're going to see, folks. Now let's get to the unboxing. All right. Now that we're here, let's take a look at what we're about to look at and see. Ooh, it's a big box. Very big box. Yep. And it's a Breitling. That's right. That's what we're about to see. The Breitling. How am I going to take this off? Nice package. Very detailed. Textures on the logo. Brown underneath. Not bad. It's not a crack, just a little tear. Don't worry. Very, very good. And let's see what it has here, ladies and germs. Let's see. Breitling tag. Navitimer 1. Manuals. Very, very awesome. This particular passport. Huh. And let's see something else, folks. Here's the international warranty. Very, very awesome. Where you purchased it, the date of purchases, and the number and everything. It's very, very cool. So with all that out of the way, let's take a look. So this is how it comes with everything. Let me put this back. And this is how the watch comes. Genuine leather. This is how the watch is stored in. This is how the bracelet is, but it's a little separately. But as long as I'm extremely careful, little adjustment to fit on my wrist. Where's the watch in question? Where else? But here it is. All its wisdom. It still doesn't have the famous logo, but it has a signature B for the Breitling, named Breitling, and there's Navitimer. Good bracelet. Ah, there's that famous logo. The logo. Breitling since Breitling 1884. Let's be clear, only wear this during the holiday season or just chillaxing. Signature B, the wings of the Breitling. Very, very cool. Cool bracelet. Let's take a look how you be careful with these, and then all right, a little something to those that adjust the Breitling. Of course, took some links out here and there. You see the back part here. Okay, you can yank it out. You can put it either two, just the first section or the second. Depends how big is your wrist, and you clip it there. It's got amazing chrono, but I'm not gonna mess around with that. I'll leave you the link in the description box for the other ones. Got your date, the time, and I'll show you to you. You got the seconds, the hour, and you got your minute. That's minute that just moved. Pushers, you can stop this anytime you like. I'll give you a demo. Very awesome. And you can, before I show you the movement of the bezel, let's see the back. Look at the signature. It is so tremendous. Chronograph certified chronometers. Manufacturer. I can't even read the rest, but I could read it when I'm like looking at it. Suisi test 3 bar. Very, very cool, I gotta say. And let's take a look at the movement. Heck, the movement's not gonna hurt anybody. Movements don't hurt anyone. Okay, look at it very, very carefully. Back says Breitling, chronometer certified. No, Chronograph certified chronometer. Let me see if you could see the movement. Oh, here we go, boys and girls. You see that, folks? Genuine engineer, folks. Trying to concentrate. Oh, there we go. There you go. Look at the movement, everybody. And Breitling on the logo. Let's be, like I said before, wear this during the holiday season or relaxing time. Let's see how it looks in the Sparky wrist. What do you guys think? Give it a wrist shot. Heck, some wrist shot's not gonna hurt. I'm gonna be clear, put it only on the second fitting. I had to adjust to make sure it fits on my wrist. Let's see how it looks. Fits like a glove. Fish glove. Try to imitate Jim Carrey from Ace Ventura Pet Detective. So yeah, folks. This is how it looks on the Sparky wrist. Pretty awesome. I could wear this anytime I like. And if anybody's familiar with the Breitling ambassadors, like such actors or models or athletes like, say, David Beckham, John Travolta, and who else now? Adam Driver and Charlize Theron and Brad Pitt. Wow. And if anybody's familiar with Swiss Watch Expo, link is in the description box for their channel. Check them out on celebrities with their timepieces. And I just adjusted it the way it was before. It fits very good. Fits very well. Again, for fancy wear or for like anytime you like to relax. This particular model that you're looking at here, let me just put in position. Also, let's take a look at the calculations. No tickery sounds, no clickering, not like a combination save. This is just like calculating. See that you can go backwards, go forward. It's like a digital-esque compass. Computerized, but also this is right in front of you. It's not computerized. It's like it's moving by itself, but you're turning it. You're turning it. You dig that, folks? All right. So with all that info out of the way, let's play music to 2018 with Moonlight, done by XX Extension. A young rapper who passed on that year. Well, this watch came out in May, so it was about 5 months after his passing when he was killed over money. He was only 20, and right now he'd be about 24. A young rapper who died too young too soon. So with that, let's play this music and give a little silence to XX Extension. With this song, Moonlight. Enjoy, folks. So y'all, if you enjoy this video, please leave a comment what you all think. And if you were seeing color changes throughout this video, yeah, a little adjustment here and there, maybe some lighting, or I'm not so sure. Oh, there it is again. I don't get what's up with these color problems. Heck, maybe just concentrating what's on the background, maybe, who knows. So yeah, tell me in the comments down below, do you like Breitlings? Are you a fan of the Navitimer? Are you a fan of the other ones? Like say Breitling Avenger. I highly doubt that the designers of Breitling were a fan of the MCU. Hey Breitling, if you're listening to this, dude, are you guys at Breitling, are you fans of the MCU? Tell me if you are. Heck. So yeah, I'm surprised we never see the brand in any of the MCU films. How come? It is a good brand. It's been out since, I mean, the company's been out since 1884, and Navitimer's been out for 70 years. Wow, has it been that long? So tell me, y'all, what do you think of what do you think of this brand? What do you think of anything? And so on. And also, if you like watches, subscribe to the channels down below from Swiss Watch Expo. Also, who else? Bruce Williams, Random Rob. Also, who else do I even know is a big fan of Breitling? Oh yeah, G Shark Go is one of those dudes. Also, Watch Chris and other collectors out there. So yeah. If you guys want to know more details, links in the description box down below, including my fellow YouTube buddy, the Urban Gentry. Shouts to you, dude. Shouts to all you collectors out there. So anyways, this is Sparky Marky Mark, signing off. Y'all take care. God bless you. Catch you on the next vid.